Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. So, during COVID-19, lots of things have had to have gone virtual. And so I wanted to check in with someone that's launching something, a movie expo that is going to be all virtual. And to do that, I want to introduce you again to an old friend of mine, Ayaz Malik, who runs Fusion 5, a media communications consulting company here in Streetsville, and a gentleman that's been kind enough to have me at a couple of different events and just an incredible community organizer and a nice guy. And he and I want to introduce you to two pretty impressive young people. The first is Xin Sit Tao. She is the CEO and co-founder of Team Movie Expo. She has the ability to take visions and make it a reality with over 20 years of experience in events and production for both fashion and entertainment. She has gained valuable insight on understanding the complexity of every production. Her coveted experiences in high-profile events such as the Toronto Pan Am Games, the Honda Indy, and the Toronto Rogers Cup has enabled her to be versatile and ready to lead any team to the next level. And in addition, we have Taz Garcia, who is the vice president and another co-founder. He's an internationally acclaimed Canadian actor and director, best-selling author, and Vaughan City Hall inductee. How that all fits together, I don't know. We'll have to understand that. With 17 years in hospitality and tourism management, sales, marketing, and psychology, as well as 2 decades in customer service fields, Taz is an integral part of the team. His continuous involvement in the entertainment industry fuels relevant insight into the event's pillars. Garcia's attention to detail, along with his personal charm, will embellish everything from ordinary to extraordinary. Taz, Zin, and Ayaz, how are you? Welcome to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us, Brian.
My pleasure. So why don't we start with Zin? Tell us, what is Movie Expo?
The Movie Expo. Well, it is an expo that we bring together filmmakers of all sorts from all over the place in one place, under one roof, to be able to connect with each other, network, and learn from industry professionals. So
it sounds like a film festival.
Actually, no, not a film festival, but it's everything behind the scenes. So we're shining a light on all the key people and the key players behind the scenes that make all the magic happen.
Excellent. And so when is this happening?
This is happening March 20 and 21st, Saturday and Sunday of this year.
And you're taking it virtual?
Yes, we are. This year it is going to be a virtual event, given the circumstances. And we still wanted to make sure we can connect everybody together in one place at one time. Even though we have to be apart, we're still going to bring everybody together virtually on the platform. And
who are the relevant people that would be interested in going? People that are interested in the back end of movie production?
Anybody that is up and coming in filmmaking, film students, people who are writers, cinematographers, people who are currently working in the industry, anybody who has a creative gene, has something that, they want to create and has an idea perhaps that they want to pitch. All those can be made possible at the Movie Expo this year.
And if people want to sign up or check it out, is there a website they need to go to?
Yes, it is movieexpo.com.
movieexpo.com. Well, thanks for letting us know about this. We're going to take a break for some messages and come back more. And I'm going to try to figure out what these guys are all about. So stay with us. Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour, Saga 960. We're talking tonight about something called the Movie Expo, which is coming up later in March. And we've got the two co-founders of the Movie Expo and my friend Ayaz Malik, who I guess is doing some consulting to them from a marketing standpoint. He runs Fusion 5, a marketing consulting company here in Mississauga. Maybe I could come back to the two co-founders for a second and understand a little bit about your background. So Xin Si Tao, you've been in fashion and entertainment over the course of the last 20 years. You look like you're like 20 years old yourself. So how have you done this for 20 years? And tell me, you've got experience in the Toronto Pan Am Games, Honda Indy, and Toronto Rogers Cup. Tell me a little bit about what you did in fashion and entertainment and these different events.
Great. So I graduated from Ryerson University in fashion design and fashion marketing. being somebody that was actually more into the teamwork and the group work, I actually found myself more interested in the entertainment and event side of things. So after graduation, I actually started going into the event and sporting and entertainment side of things. And then somehow one thing led to another, the Pan Am Games and the Honda Indies, and eventually—
And doing what? You were doing event organization or what?
Yeah, the event organization, anywhere from, the hospitality side to the vendors and the athletes and technical officials, and just organizing the events, making sure floor plans and the flow of traffic and, points of sales. So just the whole event, anything from staffing all over.
And what led you to found or co-found the Movie Expo?
Well, graduating out of Ryerson, there was one thing that I found, and I, realized with a lot of the creators out there. It's kind of like when you graduate, you kind of sit there and go, oh, what's next? What happens next? Do we need to leave Toronto? Do we need to go to Hollywood? Do we need to go to Paris, for fashion and entertainment? And what I realized was there is so much talent in Toronto, so much creativity, but not enough of a platform to be able to showcase that, and not just only, the forefront of the acting side of things, but, the sound design and the cinematography and the writing. And so I said, you know what, there's a trade show for everything, anything from cars to house to boats. And I said, why isn't there a show, an expo for movies, but not just film festivals, but behind the scenes, and an exhibit for shining a light on cinematographers, on writers, on sound design and Foleys. And so that's kind of how Movie Expo was born.
Awesome. Taz, let's turn to you. Taz Garcia, you've been an actor and a director, and you've been in hospitality and tourism, and you've been a Vaughan City inductee. What's that all about?
Oh my goodness. Okay, where do I start? Pro athlete, very I guess innately in love with the performing arts since I was a kid, dabbled in professional sports, which kind of prepared me for the entertainment industry, which is—
What professional sports did you dabble in?
I played professional soccer with Manchester United, and
cool.
Yeah, and then when I ended up in Toronto, I played for Toronto Lynx for a bit before TFC was a thing, and I also played ATP Juniors, which was tennis. And so I ended up doing the academic route. I did hospitality and tourism, majored in marketing and sales, minored in psychology. And once I got that degree, I was like, all right, back to basics, back to that where my heart beats most. And that was entertaining, creating, putting a smile on people's faces. And I feel like at times like this with the pandemic, you realize how much art means and the creators mean to the world. If you're just sitting or asked to sit at home with no mediums of performance or entertainment, how boring that would be. So fast forward many, many years, over 2 decades in the entertainment industry, I sat down myself and said, okay, what are some of the things that I wished would have been there for me? It's a very, very hard industry. There's lots of rejection, but there's tons of talent, tons of hunger. People know they want to do this for the rest of their lives, but it ends up being a job, a contract, and it comes to an end, sadly. So Zin and I put our heads together and said, okay, well, what is missing in this city that we love so much? We're Canadian, we see the talent, we see the hunger, we see the ambition. There's tax incentives, there's everything possible that you could need to create fantastic products. Why don't we highlight everything here? We both worked in Asia, we've both worked worldwide really, and then we come back home, which is Canada, and we're like, why do people have to go to Hollywood? Why don't we shine a light in our own backyard? Let's put that spotlight on Hollywood North. And that's when the Movie Expo was born. And we said, you know what? We've been to tons of red carpets and festivals. But once again, that is the end result. You've got a film, you go there for the pictures, you go there for the red carpet, you go there for the social gatherings. but it's not necessarily a growth opportunity. It's more of a schmooze, just like we say in LA. So we said, okay, let's do this. We're going to give back and bridge this gap between talent and opportunities. And we're also going to highlight and appreciate all the stars behind the scenes, all the people that are integral pieces of the puzzle, the writers, the producers, the agents, the trainers, stunts, all the people that typically are in the background. And if you're a celebrity, you're the one that gets the ooh pictures and all the opportunities.
Is this primarily for people in the industry in Toronto or worldwide?
So the vision, obviously, number one is we want to highlight Canada and Toronto, but we opened the field entirely. We had people from Asia, all around Asia, Southeast Asia coming in last year. We had Europe, we had Africa. We opened it entirely for people to come here, showcase their services, showcase their products, showcase their expertise, what it is they do, and network, and perhaps spark a new co-production with Canada. Could be a Canadian-Chinese co-production. And basically, that's the Movie Expo in a nutshell. So obviously, with the pandemic, we said, let's move it virtual, baby, because this tends to be where everything's going. We face enough rejection in this industry. We know how to think very fast and adapt.
This is your second year?
Yes, so this is going to be our second year.
And how many people came last year?
Overall, we had about 700 people walking in through the door a day, and it was going on for 3 days.
Whereabouts was it held?
It was at the Intercare Center.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so you're going internationally virtual this year.
Yep. So it's going virtual this year, which came with an amazing advantage. The fact that you don't have to fly, you don't have to lodge, you don't have to feed yourself or transportation.
But you miss out on the red carpet and the schmoozing.
Exactly. Well, hey, I think it's going to make it that much sweeter when it actually opens up. You're going to say, ooh, finally, I can do it. Right. So maybe you're going to appreciate it that much more.
So what do the two of you do? Do you do everything together, or one of you responsible for some stuff and the other one for other stuff?
Well, besides fighting, what do we do? No.
Yeah, well, we share the responsibilities in terms of, we bounce ideas off of each other. We're both very, very creative people. There can be different ideas in terms of Taz may have a better insight in terms of, directing and cinematography and what's relevant. And on my end, it would be, the scheduling and, putting it all together, the logistics behind it. So, we kind of mesh and say, what's everybody's superpowers? And let's just all put it together to make a great show.
Awesome. And honestly, it's not just the two of us. We've got amazing people like Ayaz, who's on our team. We have an amazing team with us, working with us, that makes it possible, from social media to the website to the creative side, the logistics side. So we're on the forefront, but it takes a whole team, just like with movie making.
Just like anything. Ayaz, let's turn to you. So you're in the marketing communications area, and you're helping it go virtually. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved and what you're going to be doing for the Movie Expo.
Yeah, thanks Brian to having us, and Taz and Zain. You guys, amazing. You described the entire whole Movie Expo in a 5-minute, so which is good. We came in this, in this business. As you know, Brian, you were in our virtual event last year in September. We had it was a very successful event. We were expecting only 3,000 people all together, but end of the day, after 3 days, there was more than 7,000 people registered. So that was amazing for virtual.
This was an interesting business expo that your Fusion 5 put on. And I thought it was just going to be local people, but people were connecting up with me afterwards, after my talk, from around the world.
Yes. And so we had so many flavors, so many people around the, around different part of the world. And so that was, so when I was talking with Movie Expos guys, they said, okay, you know what, I explained them what is the benefit to growing to the virtual this year. And, they had a different, aspect and thought about the Movie Expo event. But because they did last year in person, they had a different mindset. Now I explained them what you can benefit and, how can you produce the virtual event, the same Movie Expo. And they like my idea. and we are start working on it now.
And so is it going to look like a trade show, or is it going to just be a Zoom?
So, so I will take care about the virtual, so you guys can explain more. But yes, so virtual event will be the entire event is some of the portion is a paid and some of the portion is a free. So I'm pretty sure Zin is going to explain what is the free and what is the paid. So virtual will be the entire lobby will be there. People can go, people can sign in as a free. You know, free of the some of the inner pages, they can go and visit the food booth, exhibitor booth. Sponsors will be there, and there will be lots of live session and everything. So you will see exactly what we had in the past in a different ways in a movie expo environment. So Zin, you can take care. Go ahead with the live live session.
So actually what it'll be is that, when everybody enters, we will have the virtual lobby. And then on the paid section of it, there'll be over 20 panels and 30 speakers, all speaking about, everything behind the scenes, anywhere from script writing to cinematography and directing. And then there will be networking sessions where everybody can go into the networking rooms virtually just to be able to connect with each other. And then on the free exhibit side, it would be to go into the exhibit halls where you will actually see exhibit booths, the virtual ones, just like, what you would see in real life. They would have their links to their websites and all the products available, and they can even connect and contact with the vendor booths. And on that end of it, that is free for any attendees. And we also have, the swag bags. Of course, we can't miss out the swag bags. So we have a lot of the coupons and deals from a lot of the vendors, and an award show, of course, an award show at the very end of the event. And that is free for everybody as well, as long as they sign up and register. And they will be able to see, talent perform from all over the world, from very, very young to, very mature and seasoned.
Yeah.
Performing in the awards show, they're performing?
Yes. So during the award show, we're actually going to be announcing the script winners, because we do have a script contest from, people from all over the world. And we do have the pitch sessions as well, where if they have an idea, they are looking for, producers to produce their films, they have the opportunity to, with one-on-one pitch sessions to these Hollywood producers. And so those announcements will all be made during the award show, along with, all the colors of the rainbow in terms of singing, dancing, acting, music will be at the award show. Fantastic.
And is the award show in the free portion of the event, yes, or are they paid?
It is in the free portion of the event.
Oh, I want to come for sure. Sounds fantastic. We're chatting tonight with Zin Tao, the CEO and founder of the Movie Expo, and Taz Garcia, who's the vice president and co-founder, and Ayaz Malik, who is media and communications, marketing communications. We're going to take a break and come back more with this group in just a minute. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour, Saga 960. Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour, Saga 960. We're chatting about the Movie Expo, which is coming up later on in March. And we're chatting tonight with the co-founders of the Movie Expo. We've got with us the CEO and co-founder Zin Tao and the vice president co-founder Taz Garcia. I wonder, guys, if you could tell us a little bit about some of the speakers that are appearing and what the event is all about.
Oh, this is all you.
Well, we have over 30 speakers and 20 panels, and a few of them would be Paul Cameron, who is a cinematographer and award-winning for films like Westworld, Gone in 60 Seconds, Collateral, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tells No Tales. So he is here to discuss all the secrets and how he captured all those amazing scenes. Another keynote is actually Reggie Hoodland, who was the past president of BET, also the producer of the 88th Annual Academy Awards, and from that also won an Emmy Award for producing that. And also, I think Taz can tell you a little bit about Rob Edwards.
Okay, Rob Edwards is phenomenal. He has written work like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Full House, just to mention a few teasers out there. Phenomenal, phenomenal people. And the best thing with these speakers and the panels that we have is the fact that they are interactive. We don't just have the speakers up there for 60 seconds and just talking and talking. They actually want to pay it forward. They want to be that beacon of hope and light for a lot of the up and comers. So they want it to be interactive. So how it works when you enter a room is there's going to be a moderator, and you would type your questions. The moderator would take those questions, vet them, make sure they're appropriate, and would relay them over to the speakers, and the speaker would respond with an answer or an inspirational note. So that's basically one of the really cool formulas we have, is the fact that it's not just you turning your Zoom on and just waiting there for 60 minutes. You actually feel like you're there with them and able to speak to them and interact with them almost hands-on.
So one of the big benefits of this has got to be that you're reaching people globally that you may not have been able to all attract to travel to Toronto historically.
Absolutely, absolutely. Last year, when we had the in-person event, one of the biggest things is we had people that couldn't get their visas in time to come here. We had massive, massive names that wanted to come in, but for whatever reason, maybe the visa wasn't approved, or they were coming in and there was a last-minute project that they were assigned to, or they had to fulfill their duties to, so they had to kind of bow out. So this time around, it's really, really awesome because you don't have to travel. You could do it from wherever you are. And we've got people already signing up from Pakistan, from India, from Turkey, Egypt, Paris, you name it. We've got people signing in literally globally. And I feel like with every hardship, there comes a benefit and there comes a light with it as well. And this is one of the bonuses or pluses that we were able to kind of optimize, once again, adapt and be flexible and embrace and help our brand grow. And
probably in addition to the delegates from around the world, you can get speakers that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to attract.
Absolutely. Absolutely so. Absolutely so. And the really cool thing as well with this year is the fact that if there's a seminar that you like, you really, really like, and you want to play it back, you could do so at a later time, or you could have it live, you could interact, and it stays with you forever. So we've got that option, which we didn't have last year as well, where, we could have two shows or two speakers or two really, really cool topics happening at the same time, say at 2 p.m. And you're like, oh, where do I go? Where do I go? This year, it's really cool because if you choose one over the other, it doesn't mean you missed out. So you could always play it back.
It sounds like a fascinating event that you've got happening for us and for the movie industry. So congratulations for that. Let me ask you though, is there a future for the movie industry? This past year, I think people are being told that we're entering into awards season right now. And I was talking to someone at lunch today saying, I don't know what films are up because I haven't been to the movie theater in a year. I don't even know what's going on. So, what is happening in the movie industry during COVID-19? Has it taken a break? Has it stalled?
It was just a matter of understanding the new rules, adapting the new obstacles, embracing it, and realizing that, hey, what's another obstacle going to do? It's a temporary sidetrack, and now it's actually going full speed, if not more than it was before, because there was that little, we got to make up for that lost time. So they're actually going full thrust, full throttle ahead at this point. The only difference is the outlet. Now, a lot of it tends to be going more towards streaming instead of theatrical releases, which is something that we saw coming maybe half a decade ago.
Right. And what about films in Toronto? Are people actually doing filming right now, or has that been closed down?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, they've been continuing in terms of the filming. There are a lot of the different protocols and the restrictions that are put in place, and they actually have, COVID managers that make sure that everybody is socially distanced on set, and everybody has their appropriate locations for all their dressing rooms and food. So it's been going on this entire time, just with very, very strict protocols. And, just like anybody in the industry, everybody's adapting. At the end of the day, I think what happens is everybody loves entertainment, needs entertainment. We all want something to watch. And when there is a need for something, people will always find a way to fulfill it.
Tell me what you think's happening with production. You know, I was surprised, I guess, in the last couple of years, the Academy Awards and other awards shows that it's Netflix and Amazon and Apple that are standing up as the producers, and some of the old movie companies that we so well know aren't there anymore. What's going on?
Well, there's a bit of merging of companies and talent from the upper echelons and tiers, but at the same time, from a creative aspect, it is an amazing time for up and comers to get noticed, because all those people that were busy, the upper, I guess the people that call the shots, they were super busy back then. But now, if they're stuck at home or there's not enough content being rolled out, they're always on the prowl and they're looking out for new creators, new content, people with potential. And that's why you see a Netflix special, or you see an Amazon original, or you see all these new titles and almost in-house opportunities that you can chomp on as a new and upcomer, that perhaps if everything was rolling the way it was before, you would never have that opportunity. So it's, once again, it's just the wheels are rolling just in a different direction. And if anything, it's making it a lot more efficient. Even something as simple as the auditions, in terms of, you would have to drive down, you'd have to find a parking spot, you would have to go in, they would have to hire a camera person and record you, and then they would have to edit it, submit it, and so on. Now it's, all right, here's your audition, your sides, your lines, do it from home, submit it, that's it. They cut everything in between, which obviously translates to a cost and time efficiency. So it's a win-win for them on many, many levels.
So many businesses are going through massive technological change because of COVID-19, because of technology, because of globalization, et cetera. You know, some people have talked about we have sort of gone through 9 years worth of digitization in 9 months because of COVID-19, and you're incurring that just with having to go virtual with your conference, your expo this year.
Exactly.
What do you think is going to happen to film? Film has been sort of the same for a long period of time. You know, we had this IMAX, the big screens. That was one technological move. Are we going to have 3D? Are we going to have virtual reality? Are we going to have gamification of film? What do you think is going to happen with the technology of actually viewing film?
You know, one of the biggest answers is the fact that convenience is playing a huge role. Everyone wants it very instantaneous. They want it now. They want it at their convenience. They can watch it, pause it, go do their thing, come back and do it. And I feel that's where the streaming is really, really shining. You don't have to commit an entire 2 hours, 3 hours to go out, watch a movie, and then come back. And maybe you slept halfway through. Right now, you could stop, take care of your kids, do whatever you got to do, get your workout in, and then come back, resume, or a snack, or whatever it is you got to do. So that's playing a very important role for the creators when they're creating stuff, to really say, okay, we have this new viewership that we got to cater to and adjust everything we're doing. Plus, the audience and the technology, they're getting better, and the audience is getting a lot smarter. So that's why you've got AR implementation, VR implementation. And if you watch certain shows out there where they're using immersive backgrounds, where it's no longer just a green screen, it's literally the background is there. That's actually, if you stop for a second, you go back, you're going to realize it's a very simple technology they had back then, when it was a conveyor belt that was running the same scene and it looked like you were driving. It's just better technology now, so it looks that much more real, right? So it's just history repeating itself with better technology. And essentially, that's one of the biggest things Hollywood does, and does it really well, is they just, here's the wheel, let's do it again, but better. Right.
Then what about international? Are we, you know, we've had some foreign films actually win Oscars and do well. What do you think? Is the American public, is the Canadian public becoming more open to international films?
Actually, I think what it is that there's actually more opportunity for international collaboration. So a lot of the co-productions are happening. So instead of just saying, oh, you know what, this is a Canadian film or an American film or a Chinese or Korean film, people are getting pulled closer because of all this technology, because of the ease of being able to connect, you know, through virtually, that productions now are, you know, anywhere. You can have, 5, 6, 7 countries working together on one project. So instead of it being just one place or one type of film, it's kind of like everybody's coming together with the best parts of it to be able to create, spectacular films out there.
What about language? Is most films still in English?
I believe, yes, there are, but actually what they've done is they have some great editing and voiceovers, where a lot of the times when they actually put it into a different language, it doesn't look like, somebody speaking a different language. It actually fits like the mouth and the shape of everything. So it's actually been really great. And that's kind of another topic that one of our panels are actually speaking of is voices in animation and direction in terms of voiceovers and another completely different art that it takes for people to be able to do those voiceovers and those animations.
You guys may not know this, but I used to work at the Walt Disney Company. And, I think that animation and the mixture of animation with live film and special effects has taken off. What do you think is going to happen there? Is it going to continue, or are we going to have more or less?
I think there's going to be a lot more just for the fact that, as technology improves, everybody's always looking for, the newest thing, the fastest thing, just like with phones and computers. Right. But I think no matter what, there's still going to be traditional elements of film that people will enjoy. Say, for example, going to the theaters, and it doesn't necessarily, because you don't get that exact same feeling of going to a theater and watching a movie on a big screen as compared to when you're at home and watching, on your television screen. Filmmakers as well, when they have their films go up into a theater, going in there with a bunch of friends and saying, you know what, this is my premiere, is completely different than being able to say, yes, it's great. Your film got picked up on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon. But it's a different feeling. So I think those things become elements that we still value. But in terms of creating the films itself and actually having the collaborations, there will be new efficient ways of doing things and a direction more towards the technological side. But we'll start seeing new creative things to be able to kind of revert back and say, hey, we can make it look like the old films. And as you can see, sometimes when they do the editing now, they actually edit film to make it look like, oh, this was shot in the 90s or shot in, to try and mimic those feelings again.
Taz, you were a soccer player.
Yes,
people
sir.
refer to the sort of the sports and entertainment industry. Are sports entertainment?
Sports are entertainment because people like to watch it. And usually there's a winner and there's a loser. And you've got people that will tell you what they like, what they want to see more of and less of. But from an athlete side, not just the performing side or the viewer side, is the fact that it gives you that mindset where once you earn that spot, first you got to break into it, which is very similar to how the movie industry is. It's all mini bubbles of the different niches or niches and departments. And you got to earn that respect. You got to earn the spot. Even if you're really talented, you have to understand that these people have established chemistry and trust over a long period of time. And once you get that opportunity to prove yourself, you better remember that very first day and how hungry you were to maintain that same position, because you bet your rear end that someone wants that same spot just like you, if not a lot worse than you, and will try and really push you for it. And this is exactly the same industry. What's hot, what's not is just a matter of seconds. And you got to stay sharp. You can't cruise control. You got to keep pushing yourself and challenging yourself for it. But also listen to the audience, because they're a really good compass or gauge that tell you, yeah, we like this genre, make more of it. Nope. This is so last year. Okay, this year we're focusing on BIPOC, or we're focusing on kung fu movies, or we're focusing on more rom-coms. So listen to the audience. It's a really good kind of measure for you. So all that and the discipline, facing the rejection and no shortcuts, that all comes from that athletic kind of training and mindset.
I've been surprised at how much TV, maybe not movies, but TV, is either reality shows or X Factor, Americans Got Talent competitions. Why? Why do you have these things and not films and movies and TV comedy series? Why is
Drama.
reality shows and talent competitions taken off?
Because of drama, because it's real drama, it's relatable. People relate certain things that happen in the competition and the underdog scenarios. People like that. And when things surprisingly go too well or too smooth, it gets relatively boring. But you want to tune in to see who wins, who's breaking up with who's getting with who's saying the truth, who's going to place first and who's going to place second. And that's just the nature of humans. When you go back to it, it's like the gladiators. That's why you'll go and watch UFC, people beating each other to death almost sometimes. And it does very well because people like that. Who's going to win? Who's going to lose? Who's going to be victorious?
Oh, you got to be kidding. I read this article, I think in Vanity Fair, that was something like The Bachelor has become the biggest sports thing to watch this year.
Yeah, and if you look at The Bachelor's roots, it's actually pretty funny because you'll see how a lot of times people complain about what you're seeing, how many people at the same time. That's not cool, yet it's the highest viewership. So the I don't know if it's hypocrisy, I don't know if it's irony, I'm not really sure what's up, but yeah, it's good. It's doing well, I guess.
So it sounds like your movie expo is going to be pretty interesting. It's going to have a lot of different speakers, a lot of different panels, opportunities to network and
Right.
and meet people. And you said you're going to have food carts. How do you have a food cart at a virtual reality, a virtual expo?
Yeah, so the food court, really, when you look at how the pandemic affected a lot of different industries, and us coming back from a hospitality background, we know how hard it is, especially from people firsthand that had to give up their business or shut down their restaurant or cafe. And we know it's not the big dogs that are hurting. So we said, okay, let's reach out to all these people. Instead of using the typical apps that can deliver food, why don't we see if mom and pop shops can offer us some coupons? And we put it in this little area, we're going to name it the food court, where you don't have to leave the platform. Once you're on the movie expo, really, it's a one-stop shop. You've got your education there, entertainment there, and sure, you're going to get hungry or need a second boost of coffee. You could just hit that food court and apply, and you get a bonus. You get it delivered there at a discount. I don't see how it's not a win-win at this point.
And how are you going to do the networking?
So the networking, we've got a little room that's going to be dedicated to different departments. So for example, it could be the directing room, the writer's room, the actor's room. And it's going to be very similar to a chat room or a FaceTime. So if they've got a Zoom account, they can log in and communicate with each other, gives them that kind of emulation of, hey, we're here in it together, we're having a good time, let's exchange handles, information and projects, and hopefully when things open up again, we can work on something and create. And yeah, it's got a limit on it, limited number, but at the same time, it gives it that kind of vibe where, hey, between seminars, we can mesh exactly how it is at the exhibition hall when it was real time, real life.
Zintato, is that correct?
Cito.
Cito. Taz Garcia and Ayaz Malik, thank you so much for joining us tonight and telling us about the Movie Expo. Remind us when it is and what's the website.
March 20th and 21st. And the website is movie-expo.com. Sounds
like it's going to be a fascinating event. I look forward to it. Check it out, everybody. If you're at all interested in the movies, I think that you're going to be in for an interesting 2 days. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, Brian.
Are we going to see you there?
I'm going to be there. That's our show for tonight, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
All righty.
Thank you. Bye-bye.